Hey everybody, this is Al with El Rey Collection. Welcome to another video here on Epic Cardboard. Today we're going to talk about the prolific Scottish striker Hughie Gallacher, and his tragic end as well. But Hughie was one of the best Scottish strikers of all time. In fact, he scored more than a goal a game playing for Scotland. He played like 22 games, scored 30 goals. And on top of that, he was a member of the Wembley Wizards that beat England 5-1 at Wembley Stadium in 1928. He was a little bit of a journeyman, although the most prolific part of his career was from 1925 to 30 or so, where he scored more than 130 goals in slightly more than 150 games. Maybe it was 160. So just unbelievable. Nearly, not quite one goal per game, but pretty prolific time for him. And he bounced around. He went to Chelsea and Labour, Derby County. In total, he ended up with a tick under 400 goals, 387, I believe, plus the goals for Scotland pushed him, over 400. So really just an amazing, scorer and a bit of a character. As many may imagine, being a footballer back then didn't pay a lot. So afterwards, you had a career, many careers in a sense. He took up writing and took a number of other jobs, and unfortunately, for him, he was at home one night with his sons, Matt and Hughie Jr. And he was purported to be a relatively mellow guy most of the time, and one of his sons, Matt, just kind of went overboard and enticed him a bit, and he actually flicked an ashtray or something towards his son, and his son, he Huey Jr. would later say that he expected that that he was doing that just to scare his son, the other son, Maddie, but it actually hit him in the head, and it drew blood, and ultimately a neighbor called the police, and there was this whole thing that happened from the domestic dispute, and he was going to go to the authorities, and I guess the trial or whatever was going to happen, and he was just incredibly distraught, and unfortunately took his own life by jumping in front of a train, which is obviously incredibly tragic for so many people. And later his son Matty and his brother Hughie Jr. Left for South Africa, I think, in the 1960s. So in a way, there's some amazing highlights and achievements on the pitch, and some incredibly sad story of kind of unintended consequences, and probably some element of mental illness as well, which probably wasn't seen. It's still a little of a stigma today, but even probably more so back then. So I'm here to celebrate his epic cardboard. I find him to be an amazing Scottish player. I mean, 400 goals for anyone in any league, but in the English league, I think that's even more exceptional. If you've watched some of my last videos, we talked about some of the greats of the game, and they're you know 200 goals. I was celebrating Mo Salah's 100th Premier League goal, and we're talking about people here that are 300-400 goals. So I think that that we need to give some of these guys the respect that they deserve, even with his tragic passing. So I will show a little bit about the cardboard that I have here. There's a 1924-25 DC Adventure card that I do not have for him, which I would consider his rookie. It's a color card. So if you see that, obviously that's a great one to get. The first one that I have is the what we typically call the Rover. It's by DC Thompson. This is the one you're looking at, the top form footballers. It's colloquially called the Rover here because of this down here. Dixie Dean has one as well. Also, pretty popular card. So this is 1926, although others have it cataloged as 1927 as well. Speaking of 1927, one of my favorite all-time cards from 1927, and really from the late 1920s, are these little cards. Oh, look how great SGC frames this in the custom cut. Just so nice. And while I love the front, the backs are just amazing. They have these little write-ups in a font that you need like 2 pairs of glasses to read, but with this rising sun on the top, I just find it spectacular. So those are, and many different players are in that set. The most important probably being Dixie Dean, but this one also is an amazing collectible. You also have this. This is another one, again, thinking of Dixie Deans, right? This is another one where the Dixie Dean's wearing a bright blue shirt and the Patrio card, and these are just absolutely gorgeous as well. So this is the 1927 Patrio. Again, these beautiful backs. From the late 20s through the 30s, just great typesetting on the backs. So much attention played to them. If any of you guys saw my video on, I think it's Ted Drake, although it may be somebody else. I have a George Camsell, I think. There was a Toffee Rex back in this. This is the Lovels again, and here again is, if you didn't see that video, one of the very few cards that I've found that's actually issued by a Toffee with Toffee. So here's the King of Toffees. Love it. Again, won't go into exceeding amount of detail on that, besides stating the obvious that Toffee is a unique product, and certainly this is the only issue that I've ever found issued with Toffee per se. Again, super early, nice card from around 1928. So this one's typically from labeled from 1929 or 1930. I've seen both. It's the DC footballers. Remember how cool some of these backs are. You may have seen this in, I think, Cliff Baston's first card. Look at this. Oh, it's just amazing. This is the Arpol Aster car. That's just insane. Look at that. So you're getting an amazingly early, artistic, very, very beautiful soccer card. This is when he had transferred already to Chelsea, and you get this picture of a car from the late 20s, early 30s. Come on. Is there something better to collect in modern? If so, please let me know, because I just find this, it's art. Truly, this is a lot of time and care, precision and beauty went into this creation. It really is a piece of art, if you ask me. And then you've seen these before if you've seen some of my videos. This is the Victolars. Again, I kind of bite the letters on this because I really have no idea how to say it. But these are the photographic ones where if you get at the angle, you'll see the shine of them, and they're blank backed. Again, small, nice, excellent clarity on the photographs, and you can pick those up. Again, he's another guy where you can pick this stuff up like for very, very little money, and I just shake my head sometimes thinking, oh my Lord, if you forecast anyone to score 400 goals for club and country, and then forecast out another 100 years, does it make any sense you can pick those cards up for 10 quid or $15? It doesn't to me. But if you go on eBay today or tomorrow, I think you're going to be able to find these. This is again this gold flake honeydew that we've seen on many of these flares. Look at that. I mean, look at the typesetting, all the details, on the sides from 34, 35. Just great image. Even if it's monochrome, they found a way to make these monochrome issues absolutely gorgeous. This one, again, super hard issue from Malta, the Circe cigarettes, and super hard. I mean, a 7. I mean, are you kidding me? This is just, I feel lucky to hold these things. I mean, again, not a lot of value. You're not going to send your kid to college based on gains you make with Hughie Gallacher. But, for the history of the game and the importance of a player for both Scotland, now when we talk about country, or club. I mean, he was great. He was really great for Newcastle United. 130 goals. He put in 72 for Chelsea. I don't know where that puts him on the all-time list, but I'm gonna guess that it's top 20, right? And that's what a team he played for just 4 seasons. I mean, he was prolific. So this guy should not be forgotten by history like I feel like he is. Then you go, remember the mid 30s with the Sinclairs, the Carreras, all this type of stuff, relatively gettable. Not maybe in super high grades, but I mean, generally pretty good shape, and for really pennies when you think about it. This is as he's getting a bit older, but look at even this, even the common Sinclair. Look at how clean and nice the back is, and they're fun to read. It's fun to read these backs. And that's another thing that I do a lot with these cards. I just read and see what they were saying, about the players, at that time, right? So this is when he's at Derby County, and he says, look at this. I'll just read this one. It says, during the 34-35, he played 27 games for Derby County, being the highest scorer with 23 goals. I mean, there you go. He's 10 years into his career and nearly has a goal a game. And then, again, just to close it out here, not to belabor the cause here, but it's a nice, Godfrey Phillips, in an 8. Incredibly clean, this example. But as you've seen for so many of these cards, these are just great cards. And, I highly recommend, if you have any tie to Newcastle United, any tie to Chelsea, any tie to Derby County, I say I would go and pick up some Hughie Gallacher. Go if you're Scottish. I mean, you can't not have this guy in your collection, from my opinion, if you have any of those affiliations. The tragic end is painful for us all. But sometimes life goes that way, and tragedies happen. Let's do what we can to continue his legacy as a prolific striker, an important participant in what is an amazing game. So if you like this video, and I surely hope you have, hopefully you'll smash that like button and subscribe if you're not. And we'll put out some more content that hopefully you guys will enjoy. So again, hope you enjoy the epic cardboard. Thanks, everyone.